Pray at all times. What does that mean? Just exactly what it says. There doesn't need to be an explanation of that. Jesus said in Luke 21:36, watch and pray always. The early apostles said in Acts 6:4, we will give ourselves continually to prayer. It was said about Cornelius in Acts chapter 10 that he prayed to God always. Paul in Romans 12:12 says, continue diligently in prayer. In Colossians 4:2, continue in prayer. Philippians 4:6, be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And famous 1 Thessalonians 5:17, pray without what? Ceasing. Pray without ceasing. Paul did that. 2 Timothy 1:3, without ceasing, he says, I have remembrance of you in my prayers night and day. The idea here is constancy. Now, this stretches us beyond just some recited prayer. This cannot mean some focused, isolated prayer experience. We're talking about a life pattern. We're talking about a consciousness of God's presence at all times that leaves my heart open fully to Him. That's what this is all about. To be so God-conscious that you see and experience everything with reference to Him. You see all events in life as related to God. If you see something good, what is your immediate response to what is good? It is to offer God thanks and praise and adoration. You see evil. You see sin. What is your response? You ask Him to make it right. You confess it. You pray for the sinner. You grieve that God is dishonored, that His name is reproached. You ask God to vindicate Himself, to bring righteousness where there is only iniquity. You see trouble. You see people in distress. What is your initial response? To go to God and ask that God will somehow be honored in the distress and bring a deliverance that can glorify His name. It's simply living your life in that kind of dominant God consciousness so that God is the filter through which every experience passes. David said that, I have set the Lord always before me. I have set the Lord always before me. Everything in life is filtered through that God-enhanced vision. There's no waking moment, then, that prayer cannot rise. It isn't a time that you wait for. It's a life that you live. It's a God-conscious life. It's not just finding a list of requests and going over it, although that's part of it. It's not just having a prescribed prayer time, although that's certainly part of it, private place. It's much more than that. It's that every single thing in your life is something to talk to God about. Everything. Everything.